Rusty and Peter Sam have been working for a few days. They have been taking really good rests, but they were still in need of help. One day, Sir Topham Hatt brought 2 more new engines to help with Peter, Sam, and Rusty.
Peter, Sam, and Rusty? These 2 are Renee's and Duncan. I bought these 2 to help you with the work that you need to do. Renee's and Duncan, your jobs are to help Rusty and Peter Sam with the freight trains and passenger trains. Since you all know how to introduce yourselves, I will just be going now.
And Sir Topham Hatt drove off to Knapford. Hello there. Pleased to meet you. I'm Rusty.
And I'm Peter Sam. Welcome to the narrow gauge railway.
Thanks, you 2. I'm Renee's, and this is Duncan.
Do I really have to work with these 2 losers?
What? We're not losers!
Yeah, why is it you have a funny funnel, and why is the other one a smelly diesel?
Smelly? I am not that smelly. Yeah, and my funnel is not that weird. It's a special funnel.
Oh yeah? Well, I can't stand here insulting you 2 all day. I must go now and start my work. Goodbye.
And Duncan chuffed away to get his freight train, and leaving Peter, Sam, and Rusty all offended. Later, just as Duncan got his freight train, Renee's then arrived.
You know, Duncan, it's not so nice to insult Peter Sam just because he has a different kind of funnel. And it's also not nice to insult Rusty because he's a diesel. Speaking of that, you keep calling every diesel smelly.
And your point is?
So my point is you should stop calling every diesel smelly.
Oi, I don't need an engine to tell me what to do. Now goodbye.
And Duncan left with the freight train. That night, Peter, Sam, and Rusty were talking to Renee's about Duncan.
Renee's, why is it that every time Duncan sees me, he calls me smelly? And why is it that Duncan keeps calling my funnel weird? Well, you see, Duncan's not used to steam engines that have different kind of parts. And he's also not used to all the diesels. So what you're saying is, Duncan hates every single diesel, so he decides to call all the diesels smelly. True. That's what he does every time he sees a diesel. And not only that Duncan makes fun of my funnel, but he also makes fun of every other kind of different part that steam engines have? Yes, that's also true. So Duncan's not just making fun of your funnel, but he is making fun of other steam engines that have different parts. Okay, one thing. How come Duncan doesn't insult you? Well, why Duncan doesn't insult me is because I don't have any different kind of parts. That's all. So you're just the only one that Duncan gets along with? No, I'm not the only one that Duncan always gets along with. But he also gets along with other steam engines that don't have any different parts. You know what? I think I know some engines that don't have different parts. Oh yeah, and so do I! Really? Who are these engines that don't have different parts? Well, there's my brother, Sir Handel, and there's also Skarloey. Wait, you know Skarloey? Well, sure I do. Why do you ask that? Because, to tell you guys, Skarloey is my brother. What? No way! Are you serious? Yeah, I really am. How long have you guys been brothers? Oh, it was years before our railway closed down. Oh, that's too bad. What happened to you and Skarloey before your railway closed down? Well, before our railway closed down, people came to buy us. But when they bought me, no one wanted Skarloey. They thought he wasn't so useful to work. So they decided to send Skarloey to the scrapyards. I thought I would never see him again. No, actually, you can see him again. Really? So he's not scrapped? Of course he's not. James told me that he found him and brought him here. So, where is Skarloey? Well, sadly, before I came to this railway, Skarloey had to be taken to the repairs. It all happened when he tried to push my train up a bridge, and then he broke down. So now to you, Renes. What happened when you were sold to some people? Well, after I was sold, I was introduced to 3 engines, one of them being Duncan, of course, and 2 other engines that were Duncan's friends. They all got used to me, since I didn't have any different parts. So is that why you're friends with Duncan? Because you didn't have any different parts? Yes, I was. And now here we are, seeing a steam engine with a different part and a diesel. So, even if Duncan insults me because I'm a diesel, and insults Peter Sam because he has a different funnel, will you still try to persuade him to stop insulting us? I tried many times, but Duncan just can't seem to do what I have said. So Duncan is just gonna keep insulting us just because I have a different funnel and Rusty's a diesel? Yep, and he's just gonna keep acting like that for the rest of his life. The next day, Duncan had to take some cows to the farm.
I'll show that smelly diesel and that engine with the weird funnel who's the best. I'll show them both.
While on the way to the farm, Duncan didn't know that a piece of a brick bridge had fallen off. This is gonna cause Duncan a really big problem. Just as Duncan got to the bridge, it happened.
Oh no! Somebody! Help!